I would like to first thank one of my subscribers for showing me gratuity on my Patreon. I won't say your legal name out loud for security reasons, but you know who you are. If any of you would like to make a donation, you can by clicking the link on my Linktree URL in the description box down below. Thank you. Many of you are already aware of the organization called the World Economic Forum. At first glance, it is an independent international organization that makes a false claim stating they exist to improve the entire world in all its efforts to demonstrate entrepreneurship and the global public interest while upholding the highest standards of governance. They claim that moral and intellectual integrity is at the heart of everything it does. The World Economic Forum was founded in 1971 by Klaus Schwab, a Swiss economist, and has its headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. The WEF also conducts research and advocacy work on a range of topics including economic development, environmental sustainability, and social issues. It produces and reports and hosts events focused on these issues with the goal of shaping policy and driving positive change. Now that all sounds very well put together now, doesn't it? But you know what? Why wouldn't it? Just like everything else in this world, if it doesn't sound good, then nobody would want to buy into it. I told you all countless times already not to get too caught up in this world system and everything it has to offer you. I'm sure many of you have goals, dreams, and inspirations you all wish to achieve and accomplish. I hope you all end up doing so. However, I want you to know that this organization, like many others, isn't looking to achieve only what they reveal in standardized press conferences and the About section on its website. Their intentions are far more sinister, and it's all being dressed up as something that looks attractive. You can compare the way they subliminally give their messages to the same way someone scolds you for being angry at something they shouldn't have done. Who are these people to tell you what is best for you? They don't know you personally, and they don't know what your needs are, just like that person scolding you for being angry at an offense they committed. They're trying to gaslight you into feeling bad about something you rightfully should be upset about. What's actually sad about the WEF when it comes to public opinion is that there have been many people who have been welcoming every last proposal they've put forth. World leaders of many governments around the world are in on it as well. Not only them, but high-powered business people, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, and even other international organizations. I want you all to know that you'd be wise to not trust these people, as they see you all as prey. Not only that, but they see mankind as sheep that are easy to lead astray. It isn't that their intentions are to outright slaughter all of mankind, because then these people wouldn't have any people to rule over. But they do intend to come down on humanity with a heavy hand, and they will do it by cooperating with their country's government. It actually is crazy to me how people still to this day put all their trust in their government as if it even cares that you trust them. Those in power have their own interest, always have, and always will. Wake up, everybody, and come out of your filthy pit called toxic positivity. You always being optimistic and positive is fine. You being optimistic and positive that your attitude and efforts will always consistently find a healthy solution to every single problem like that is deception. Do not blind yourselves by way of self-made perceptions. Open your eyes and look at this world and those in power for what it is and who they are. This is not a public service announcement for you all to begin to tap into your hatred for government, the WEF, and powerful individuals, and even wanting to kill them. They would only respond to this by using emergency powers as an excuse to come down harder on humanity. I am just telling you all not to be surprised when you see this world begin to take an even sharper turn for the worse. Some of you truly believe this world will find true long-lasting peace. Some of you even go so far into actually worshiping this earth. Both are futile. Do not worship this earth, as it is full of corruption and unable to deliver you from trouble, and do not be deceived by any peace deals that are made between countries in this world. Peace cannot come from mankind, and mankind has proven that time and time again. Mankind sees peace as an opportunity to then strike their neighbor down when their guard is down. So if mankind cannot even receive mercy and grace from their own neighbor, what makes you think the earth will eventually enter into an eternal state of peace between people of every tongue, nationality, and ethnicity? I told you all not to be naive, as it leads to disappointment and devastation, and I meant what I said. So hear me when I say this. Any peace you witness being made between nations on this earth in the times we are living in now is temporary. It will not last forever. Even if it lasts for centuries, it will not be eternal. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I would like to show you what your international organization, the WEF, has been up to. Take a look.
Now humans are developing even bigger powers than ever before. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. We are acquiring, for instance, the power to re-engineer life.
All this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
know that in recent years we saw populist politicians undermining deliberately the trust that people have in important institutions like universities, like respectable media outlets. These populist politicians told people that, say, scientists are this small elite disconnected from the real people. You shouldn't believe them. And you had all these conspiracy theories that climate change is just a hoax, it's not real, and that the earth is actually flat, and that vaccinations are bad for you, and this spread. But I don't think it's too late. Especially in an emergency, people can change their views very fast, and they can discover hidden reservoirs of trust. You look in this crisis, who do people trust? They trust scientists above everything else. In all countries. In Israel, they closed down the synagogues. In Iran, they closed the mosques. Churches all over the world are telling people don't come to church. The Pope is doing all these ceremonies on Zoom or YouTube. And why do they do all this? Because the scientists recommended it. Even the religious leaders have trust in the scientists. The easiest people to manipulate are the people like who believe in free will, because you manipulate them and they don't even suspect, because hey, I chose it because this is my free will. We need some kind of global loyalty and global identity. Earth will be populated or even dominated by entities that are not organic, that they don't breathe, they don't have emotions. Like the potential of AI is much, much bigger than any historical revolution. It's really a biological revolution. And now if you give the tools to start changing or overcoming biology, just, think about sex life. Mm-hmm. Almost every religion and every ideology wanted to really change human sexuality or limit it, but they couldn't. You had vows of chastity in the church, and how many people actually lived up to the vows of chastity? Now think, if you can really start messing with human biology, what will be the result of these sexual fantasies of different religions and ideologies? Then the big political and economic question of the 21st century will be, what do we need humans for? Or at least, what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games.
Good evening, Mr. Harari. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us tonight. My question indeed is a bit more personal. You've called yourself a prophet tonight, or you use the word.
I repeatedly denied that.
How you feel being so influential? I mean, it has happened probably in the last few years, no?
Yeah, just again.
I mean, I'm interested in you have power somehow to convince leaders. How you yourself?
So I now have a team that is helping me deal with that. It's impossible to deal with such a thing just one person. So people see me and they think I'm doing everything. I actually do very little. And the people who really work hard are my team members who organize this and everything.
I'll send you a CV.
And also, I repeatedly tell people.
This video is being shared on social media platforms with the claim that it shows Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla saying that his company's goal is to reduce the world's population by 50% by 2023.
Was by 2023 we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming.
Reverse image search of screenshots from the video led us to a YouTube video with similar visuals. This is from a conversation that Borla participated in at the Davos summit by the World Economic Forum. The original video was cut at the 2-minute 33-second mark to make this 38-second viral clip, and a part of the YouTube video was edited to make the viral video. In the YouTube video, Borla said, "By 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world that cannot afford our medicines by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming reality." In the viral video, the words "that cannot afford our medicines" have been cut out.
Was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming. Was by 2023, we will reduce the number of people in the world that cannot afford our medicines by 50%. I think today this dream is becoming.
Pfizer launched an initiative to provide patent-protected medicines to 45 lower-income countries. Borla spoke about this in his conversation
will
at
affect and maybe even replace us.
Don't have any answer in the Bible what to do when humans are no longer useful to the economy. You need completely new ideologies, completely new religions, and they are likely to emerge from Silicon Valley or from Bangalore and not from the Middle East. And they are likely to give people visions based on technology. Everything that the old religions promised, happiness and justice and even eternal life, but here on earth with the help of technology and not after death with the help of some supernatural being.
What are humans for?
As far as we know, for nothing. I mean, there is no great cosmic drama, some great cosmic plan that we have a role to play in it. And we just need to discover what our role is and then play it to the best of our ability. This has been the story of all religions and ideologies and so forth, but as a scientist, the best I can say, this is not true. There is no universal drama with a role in it for Homo sapiens. If you repeat a lie often enough, people will think it's the truth, and the bigger the lie, the better. Because people won't even think that, something so big can be a lie. And I think that fake news have been with us for thousands of years. Just think of the Bible.
But there is a concern.
One option that some people talk about is that only a catastrophe can shake humankind and open the path to a real system of global governance. And they say that we can't do it before the catastrophe, but we need to start laying the foundations so that when the disasters strike, we can react quickly. But people will just not have the motivation to do such a thing before the disaster strikes. So the next step is we turn our gaze inwards and we say, okay, gaining control of the world outside us did not really make us satisfied. Let's now try to gain control of the world inside us. This is the really big project of science and technology and industry in the 21st century, will be to try and gain control of the world inside us, to learn how to engineer and produce bodies and brains and minds. These are likely to be the main products of the 21st century economy. When people think about the future, very often they think in terms, I want to gain control of my body and of my brain. And I think that's very dangerous. We have all this still myth of free will, that everything we choose is of our own free will. And this is a myth that served us well for a couple of centuries, but now it's becoming dangerous. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens, because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things.
you need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud. These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life, after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic compounds, science may enable life to break out into the inorganic realm. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
That's over.
Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. Yeah, I mean, everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored. In this time of crisis, you have to follow science. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity to also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to. But in a crisis, you see, we have no chance. So let's do it.
Vaccine won't help us go
the
to
vaccine
test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, you know, more manageable.
Surveillance, people could look back in 100 years and identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin, which I think is maybe the most important development of the 21st century, is this ability to hack human beings, to go under the skin, collect biometric data, analyze it, and understand people better than they understand themselves. This, I believe, is maybe the most important event of the 21st century.
By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it. I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. Because really we haven't seen anything yet. I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. For that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin This is the biggest game changer.
Farm for the past 100 years that is the problem. It is large investment firms and billionaire financiers. On the real estate side, heavy-hitting investors like BlackRock are buying up at a record-shattering amount of U.S. homes. They're not the only ones. For farms and ranches, it's people like Bill Gates. This graphic shows Bill Gates' footprint on American farmland. Now, what is it that he knows that you and I don't know? He's nearing 300,000 acres spread out all over the country of farmland. He's never really struck me as a guy with a pitchfork. Current farmers being aged and priced out of their land, Gates, his total is only going to go up. Now, I wonder what old Bill might do with all that land. Well, listen to this.
Well, the Gates Foundation has partnered with DFID on a great number of things, and among those are work we do together on livestock, helping animals survive either by having vaccines or better genetics, helping them be more productive. It's making a big difference.
Oh, so vaccinating and screwing with the genetics of livestock. Oh, that's great. I mean, I totally trust the Gates on this one, don't you? The food supply is perfectly safe. Now, what do investment firms like BlackRock and people like Bill Gates have in common? Well, they're all on board with the Great Reset. That vision of the world is their end game. The globalists are gobbling up our farmland. They're encroaching on control of the food supply, but they're not alone. And this is a war. Nationalists from foreign countries are hot on their heels. Foreign entities are gobbling up U.S. land at record numbers. As of 2020, 37.6 million acres of U.S. farm and ranch land were held under foreign ownership. 37 million. They doubled down, recently buying land in Oklahoma, Texas, and Colorado. Their purchases hit 40% growth rate in just 2020. So what's going on there? One Chinese government-linked group bought farmland near the Great Forks Air Force Base in North Dakota. How are we allowing this? I mean, forget about the Air Force Base. A former member of the Chinese Red Army bought the land near Laughlin Air Force Base here in Texas. I got to tell you, I am so embarrassed to be a Texan right now. Where is our governor? Where is our Senate and House? I'll tell you where they are. They're majority Republicans who are not conservatives. They are all in on this kind of stuff. Where is Ron DeSantis? He should ban Chinese from buying any more land. This is really dangerous. In Texas, it's a sensitive military base. And they also have uncomfortable access to our power grid. Buyers from communist China bought $6.1 billion in U.S. land in 2021, by far the most of any other foreign buyer. Control the land, control the food, control the energy. Like Chinese wind farms in Texas, control the people. It is war and is being fought under our noses. But which is the biggest national security risk? Is it the Chinese buying up all the farm and ranch land? Or is it the globalist great resetters? I think it's both. I don't see a difference between the two. So what is the future if the globalists win? Remember, that's the Axis power, our side. What happens if they gain full control? In a nutshell, private ownership and privacy will all be things of the past. Not my words, their words. Will all be taken out of rural areas and thrown together in giant megacities. Not my words, their words. And this happens after the, giant food and energy crisis that they will create. Think Sri Lanka. But there's already a plan for this. And the World Economic Forum calls them smart cities, which seems great. Progressive urban designers, like the UK headquartered ARUP group, they have their own section on the WEF website. They're gaming what smart cities might look like. It's kind of exciting. What would life be like in these cities? Well, here you go. Plan for 2030, your family will eat 0 amounts of meat and 0 amounts of dairy. Each person will be restricted to 2,500 calories a day. What? Each family member will only receive 3 new items of clothing per year. This is on the World Economic site. There will be 0 privately owned vehicles. This article on the website actually quotes Klaus Schwab and his references in the 4th Industrial Revolution. They talk about utilizing technologies like 5G, quantum computing, artificial intelligence for, quote, reshaping the built environment.
Have your eyes seen what has been shown? Does your mind completely understand what you've been looking at? Have your ears heard what has been said? If so, then I know you do not have positive feelings and thoughts about the World Economic Forum. These people are not your friends, and they do not care about you. They only care about themselves and the ones who play a major role in bringing mankind down to their knees and bringing their own goals to fruition. These idiots desire for mankind to bend the knee to artificial intelligence and hybrid humanoid cyborgs. Doesn't that sound silly? Me even repeating that type of sci-fi trash makes me cringe both inside and out. These people then had the nerve to tell you that you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. I thought mankind is supposed to take pride in ownership. Now they wish to even deprive you of that. But they plan on taking more as well, but not before other systems in this world fall first. There will be those that mock messengers like myself and say that this transformation will be good for the world. Well, you better not be around me when it all goes left, as I'll be the one to turn you over since you want to be with them so bad. You see though, my people, pay attention. These fools, just like the ones at CERN, have misunderstood who this world belongs to. This world does not belong to mankind, and it isn't theirs for the taking. If you need to be reminded who this world belongs to, I'd recommend you watch all of my previous videos. Satan is the ultimate puppet master in this world. Nobody does it better than him. He is a devourer, and he seeks to devour all those in his way. He devours those who betray the worthy and leaves the unworthy who haven't betrayed the worthy as marionettes for the worthy. I personally know of witches who do dances in both the dark and light. They are children of the dark. Children of the dark rise in the dusk. They perform their usual traditions with those whom they fellowship with, and some even worship this earth. You worship this fallen world full of injustice, greed, and strife, and it isn't even able to deliver you from your troubles. Mother Nature is powerless, so is Gaia, along with the rest of them. But you don't have to be. My words remain unchanged. I like a good game of riddles. I talk as I please. Wheat fields aren't wheat fields. Wheat fields are made out of concrete.